My name is Lawanda.
There you go. Were you born in Hartford? If so, which hospital?
Yes, I was born in Hartford, Connecticut, St. Francis Hospital.
And what part of Hartford did you grow up? And what was that experience like?
The part of Hartford I grew up in is the north end of Hartford in the projects, which was Stowe Village Housing Projects. And living in Stowe Village was basically like a small community. I mean, nothing like project life, everyday life, fun, doing what kids normally do.
Would you consider the project life rough at the time?
I consider the project life both rough and kind of fun at the same time.
What were some of the aspects where you kind of realized that it was rough?
When I realized that the project life was rough was the drugs. Like seeing your family members, people, moms that you know, even my mom that seeing them started using drugs.
How old were you when you realized your family was using drugs or people in your community were using drugs? How old were you when you became conscious of that?
I can think that I want to say around about 10 years old when I finally realized what drugs look like, especially when you walking in the hallways coming out of a friend's house and you see a needle on the ground, you see a bag of dope on the ground, and you watch the news, you see how some of your friends' parents OD'd, and you just want to know what it was, but that's when I finally realized.
What were the summers like back then?
Summers was lit, but the word lit wasn't back. It was back then. It was fun. Summers was completely fun. You didn't have to leave out of the project. There was no such thing as Six Flags, Riverside. We go to Riverside, but every so often beaches. But just being in the project, we have everything we need in there: fire hydrants, ice cream trucks, family day, everything. So.
What was the best part of your childhood?
My best part of my childhood was, I want to say, the era I grew up in. If I could rewind time, I think I would do it all over again because that was the best part.
What era?
Growing up.
What era was this?
The era, I want to say the early 90s. The early 90s.
And what was Hartford like during the early 90s?
Dang, well, the early 90s, it was some of both good, bad. That's when all the gangs started coming out, the violence, the shooting, Lang Hands, 20 Love, Los Solidos, a bunch of stuff. But it still was, the music, everything was still good.
Are you from a big family?
Yeah, my family's huge. Huge. Anywhere you walk in Hartford, that's my cousin. That's my uncle.
What's it like being from a big family in Hartford?
Being from a huge family in Hartford is great, but it's also got a trick to it. Sometimes when you see some of your family members that you don't want to talk to, you gotta put your head down, like, oh my God, they see me, or I'm telling your mother XYZ. So it's just, it's a win-win situation.
Who did you grow up with in your house?
In my house?
Mm-hmm.
I actually grew up with my mom up until I was, I want to say, Fox Middle. That's about around, I want to say 12. Then my aunt came and got me and took custody of me, and I moved with her because she was in the service, which was a completely 360 from where I was living. So she removed me from the poverty, and I went to basically middle class.
What town?
Oh, actually, you mean what state?
Oh, state, yeah. She moved you out of the state.
She was stationed at Andrew Air Force Base. So I moved there with her, me not knowing at the time that they did trick me. So I was wondering, why was I at the post office getting passports and all that, so I didn't think nothing twice. About 3 months into that, me living with her, I moved to Turkey. Yep, I moved to Turkey. I sure did. So it was like a project child got to see the other side of the world. So basically, like now when people traveling and stuff, I did that as a kid.
What was Turkey like? What was like moving to Turkey, not knowing that you were going to Turkey? And when did you realize you were going to Turkey?
I was homesick in the beginning, but I met friends and went to high school there. It's like a completely different world, especially living on base. Living on base, all the apartment complexes is the same, so it was like a project, but it was a clean project. So it was completely different. So, I would sometimes sneak off base when I wasn't supposed to. When my aunt, you better not go off base, but sneak off base. Because, in them countries, you could be 12, 13, it's legal to drink. So me and my group of friends would leave there and go to the bars out there, like bar hopping, and come back. And then but this is school hours. And go back to school. Because our school was basically like an outside school. We had no hallways. Our classroom was outside, so it was like a whole school built. But you can see everybody, like all your classes is outside.
Like outside?
Like, I would say,
it was
like
like a campus?
Beverly Hills High, like the school classroom, like that. Yeah, like that.
Did you like it? Did you like Turkey?
I love it. That's why I wish, like, if I could go back and do it all over again, I was trying to make a, 360 or do something completely different.
How much time did you spend out there?
I was in Turkey for like, 2 years? Like, actually 2 years.
The late 80s and 90s are defined by the crack era. How did Hartford look and feel to you during that time? And what kind of impression did the crack era leave on you?
Like I said, back then, it was like horrible, like worse. Because like now, the people that was on crack, some of them got clean and some of them didn't. And it's like, it's just getting, and then now I'm seeing my generation looking like what we would look at, not, us being kids. Oh, look at them leaning, laughing, they look at them nodding. But now I'm seeing the same person that was saying that, you doing the same thing. So it's like, what happened?
What kind of impression did that leave on you, that era?
Say no to drugs. You know how they say, never say never. I'm sorry. I can't. You know how you do get crackheads that look in the mirror and still think they're cute. And honey, it's not there. It's not. It's over. I don't ever want to be. And being the fact that you have people in your family that's actually on it and you looking at them like, please get some help. It takes a toll on you.
We spoke kind of briefly about some of your family experiences with drug addiction. What has kind of been the impression left on you dealing with family members that have had addiction with drugs?
The impression that left on me, I really, like, up until now, I really, like, don't think about it, because it was when I had my first child, my mom was still on drugs. It took me when I had my second one that she wasn't. So I ain't want my kids to see that. You know what I'm saying? Even though she would come around, oh, that's not your grandmother. I'm like, but I couldn't take that away from her.
Mm-hmm. Which school did you attend, and which high school did you graduate from?
Actually, I went to school in Turkey. And I actually didn't graduate. I came back to the States and got my GED. I was, 17, because some of the high schools back then wouldn't allow you to go back at a certain age or whatever, so that's what I did.
You couldn't go back to high school out here after a certain age?
I was in Louisiana.
Oh, you moved back to Louisiana.
I moved to Louisiana because at the time I was 17 and married. Being the fact that I was married, he was in the service, the school wouldn't allow me because they were saying that's basically that's like letting a pregnant teenager come to school.
Yeah, I did hear back then in the 90s they didn't let
they didn't allow
teen pregnancy
so
kind of mingle with the regular Not regular,
Right.
but the other girls.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So
Crazy.
that's why.
Crazy time. So you moved to Turkey. You spent 2 years out there,
Mm-hmm.
and you came back to the States married.
Yep. Came back with my husband. Yeah.
How did that happen? Like, I mean,
It just happened. I mean, I don't know. It just happened. But
do you trust the school system in Connecticut and Hartford to provide a well-rounded education to Black and Latino children?
it's not that I don't trust the school system. I don't trust the teachers they hire. Why are you going out of state hiring out of state teachers when you have certified teachers within a state? You get what I'm saying? So that's not really. I don't trust the school system. I just don't trust what they're doing, because when you go to the school to meet the teachers, they're like, "Oh, I just moved from some." But it's some teachers, people that's looking for a job, but those teachers become substitute teachers. That's from here.
Do your kids go to school in Hartford?
Yes.
How do most people make money in your neighborhood or the neighborhood that you're from? How do most people make money in your neighborhood?
No comment. No, a hustle. That's all I'm saying. A hustle. I don't know what they sell. Hair, clothes, footwear. I don't know.
What kind of jobs do they have?
What?
Like what
In the neighborhood?
Yeah, what type of places are they working?
Ain't no jobs in the neighborhood. There is no jobs in what neighborhood? What we gonna work at? The bodega ain't hiring us.
Yeah. Dunkin' Donuts, maybe. That's the answer I hear a lot. Dunkin' Donuts,
Ain't no
Amazon.
jobs in the hood. The toughest thing about being a mother today now, not only in Hartford but all over, is especially being a mom of a Black man, boy, kid, period. That's the toughest part of trying to raise them right. Not tell them what to do, but is what's right from wrong, where not to go, where to go, how to do it, how not to do it. That's the toughest thing to me.
What's like the biggest force kind of fighting you on that? On like raising your kids the right way? Like what's the biggest danger?
The biggest angle?
Danger.
Danger?
Yeah.
Getting killed. Getting killed. But that's either getting killed by the police, somebody somebody beefing with, something you ain't got nothing to do with. It's just, period.
What's different about Hartford between now and when you were young growing up?
Now, death is normal. Back then, it was a shock. Because back then, it's either somebody got cancer or somebody, died. And back then, being a kid, we was, what is cancer? But now it's normal now.
Statistically, Hartford is in poverty. What is the cause of this?
The system is designed. It's designed the way they really want it. Now, you see what they're doing now? Building all these complexes over here by the ballpark. Dang on well, nobody out of Hartford is making those kind of six figures to move there. So what you gonna do? Boom, we gonna hit them with a Section 8 certificate. Boom, we gonna get them out of here. So us Black people not thinking, ooh, Section 8, I can get this X, Y, Z, I ain't gotta do whatever, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna take it and we're gonna run. But guess what? We are running to the same place all over again. We're moving to the same place while they reconstructing the building. So if we decide to come back, guess what? We can't, because we can't afford to do it.
Do you think Hartford is a violent place?
I grew up in the North End. At a certain time, I don't invite me to no cookouts. Thanksgiving, I just don't. Certain places, if I can't see, I'm not going. Half of the time, I don't even get out to go to corner stores. I go to Stop and Shop before I do that. It's just horrible.
When did gun violence become more prevalent in the city?
When did gun violence become? I can't even give you an exact date. It's been. I can't even. It's been.
Do you remember like a certain time in your life where maybe somebody died or somebody got shot, where you might have felt like things changed?
It started. Like about in '98. Started in '98 when all these gangs started getting heavy. People just dropping like this. Like, for instance, '98 up until what I'm gonna say 3 or 4 years from there, it was rapidly. It stopped. Now, since the millennium hit, it's like it took off again.
What do you think was the cause of that? Like the violence jumping back off?
I can't say. I really can't say. What I'm gonna say? What everybody else say? Drugs and guns.
Yeah, I mean, in the '90s, if it was the gangs in the '90s, do you think it's the gangs now, or is it something else?
See, the difference between back then, everybody knew you was in a gang because what? You were beads. Colored beads, they know where you're from. You wear your colors every single day, so they already know where you from, what set you from, whatever. Now, it's everything's on social media. So that's when it all starts. We didn't have social media back then. What we had? We really had a house phone with beepers and payphones. Now, all you got is type of going on your phone, boom. You'll see everybody in one picture. Oh, they from this side, they from here, they from that. So basically, if we're not physically saying they're from a gang, the police is assuming it's a gang. Anything like clothing, you wear anything, oh, that's a gang. You're gang affiliated.
What has been your experience with violence in Hartford?
Well, my experience with violence in Hartford came January 19, 2022, when my oldest son got killed.
What was that day like?
What was that day like? Oh, actually, it's crazy because the 17th that night, well, I can't say it was 17th, it was like 12 midnight, the 18th. He was downstairs cleaning his room because my room on top of his room, and I'm like, I paused my TV, I'm like, what is that? I can't hear him, the vacuum, the room banging. I said, Kendall, what are you doing? He's like, oh, Mom, I'm cleaning my room up. I said, this late? I gotta get up in the morning, I gotta go to work. He was like, all right, I'm quiet now. So I'll go back upstairs. I leave, get dressed for work, gotta be out by about 8, go to work. Got out of work early that day. As I got out, because I think it was snowing earlier that day. And I refused to drive to work because I don't care if it's flurries, I'm petrified on the highway. So what I did was I called the Uber, something like that. I called the Uber to go to work or whatever. So I called the Uber, then I called the Uber back to pick me up from work. This is like, I want to say, about 2 o'clock. I'm on the highway, I can remember it clear as day. Where, when you first get to East Hartford, you see that billboard, but then it's Hartford right there with a pathway. I get a phone call. I hear somebody screaming, hurry up! I'm like, I hung up. I'm like, I can't hear all that. Then they call me back. Hurry up, there was a bunch of shooting on my street. It was so many gunfires, I don't know, I can't. They said it's Kendall, it's Kendall. I'm like, okay. I'm in the back seat screaming. The Uber driver lady said, where is this taking place? And I told her she redirected the Uber, pulled up by QP Cleaners. All I seen was tape from there, and I'm like, I'm looking around from the package store, right there on the avenue. So I'm going through there because they didn't have tape up, but they had the cops out, and I'm going through up. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? As I'm getting out the car running, like my cousins and them, I didn't even know. They seen me. Everybody pulled their cars over, and they're following me. Me not knowing I didn't have a coat on. I don't even know what a coat at to this day. So I'm huffing and puffing like, what is going on? But I see, as I get to Mother Street, I see his car passenger door open. So I'm like screaming like, where is my son? What is going on? What is going on? I get to the tape. I'm like, could y'all, they didn't nobody want to tell me nothing. So they was out there for like a good 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Nobody said nothing. So I said, okay, where y'all going? Where y'all taking him? Whatever. They was like, oh, they want to St. Francis. So I pulled up to St. Francis. I think he was already there. So, I mean, we waiting, 2:30 past, waiting. This is like what? About, I'm going to say, about 4:40, they came outside and they asked me to come inside. So I came inside. And all I can remember is I heard one of the, I think it was like a Korean doctor. I don't want to say Korean, Chinese, I don't know. He came out and said to me, I'm sorry. Once he said that, my whole body, I just went like numb, like, and I just ran outside and collapsed on the ground. Like just, and I guess once everybody see me collapse, it's just a whole bunch of, I don't remember who was there, what, or nothing. That day was like the most horrible, that's something I would never want to wish on a parent at all.
Who was Kendall? What was he like as a man?
As a man?
As a man, as a person, as a son?
Thank you, the man. That's like Kendall. Kendall. Oh my God. The man. He was the man of my house. That's my. I'm the mom, but he's the. He's the one that saved everybody from getting beaten. Like, what you hitting them for? What you doing this for? But other than that, he's just a humble individual. He's for him to be 22 at the time, a lot of people thought he was way older. Like Kendall always was very, 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 very mature for his age, and I just couldn't understand it. Like, because being the fact he was potty trained at 1, rode a bike with no training wheels at 1 years old, he started people coming, these teenagers knocking on my door like, can Kendall come outside? I'm like, how old are you? So he always was the youngest one out of the bunch. And as he got older, I just was like trying to put pressure on him. You need to do this, you need to do that. You need mind your business. I know what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, fine. So I, just did that. But watching him like mature, starting to go on trips, like starting to open up to different opportunities, things, actually like literally getting dressed to go out. Kendall was never one of those ones to go, I ain't going in there, there's too many people. Like, that's him. Mm-hmm. But he just started maturing and started, partying and taking trips and stuff.
Did he have kids?
No.
No kids?
Nope.
What do you think about like the memorial on Mother Street for Kendall?
What did I think about it?
Yeah, what do you think about that? How does that make you feel? Like, do you drive down Mother Street? Do you go over there at all?
I do. I pull over. Like lately, I just been like pulling over, just sitting there, like just, sitting there. And I know Mom, get out of here. What is you doing? Oh, Mom, don't. Come on, Mom, get up out of here. Like, like what you doing over there? But it just, I can already hear him saying that. But it's just like a habit. It just, at first when it first happened, I would like bypass that street. So it was like, to me, I had to come to terms like, okay. Just sometimes you have to do certain things where you won't fear of, you know what I'm saying, when you really want to do it, you can't. So that's why I just push myself, I go over there and I sit for a bit.
We talked to Becky and she was talking about how she doesn't go through the neighborhood because of the trauma that kind of comes to mind to her, whether she's driving down this street and she lost somebody over here, she lost somebody over there. Do you go through the same type of emotions driving through the city?
Yes. Basically, yes. Yeah, it is. It is.
What kind of emotions, other than like Mother Street, are there other places in the city that kind of bring those same type of emotions to mind, or is it just on that street?
Could I repeat it?
Now I was saying, is there other places around the city that make you feel like that, or is it just Mother Street?
No, there's other places around the city that makes me feel like that also, but it's mainly like, I think being the fact that it was my son.
So we were talking about staying strong despite the loss. How do you think the rest of the family is staying strong?
It's like we all have our different days of like coping with the loss of him in our household. It's like everybody have their days, everybody have their moments. It's like we never got the actual time to actually sit down and talk about it with just like me and my kids. Like we never actually really like actually sat down and talked about it. It's like it's being ignored. Like one person get up, oh I gotta go do this, oh I gotta do that. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's on the move. You know where to go.
How do you think?
Said you also said that like some things changed with like taco night and like.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I was about to ask that. How did that affect the family dynamics?
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, that affects like we have on our, especially like on Tuesdays and stuff, we do Taco Tuesdays, and that took a toll on that because it was actually a Tuesday that he actually got killed, and that day that morning I already took the hamburger out, everything, to make it, so it was just like we always like, we ain't doing Taco Tuesdays no more, like we're not doing that. We do movie night, like, because me and my kids, we into scary movies, so watch movies, do all of that, and it's like all that changed. Like we don't even sit down in the living room together no more to do none of that.
How old is like the youngest sibling?
She's 9.
Do you think she kind of like, I know she like gets it, but like do you think it like she fully understands?
She really does. She fully understands, but she doesn't talk about it as much. She don't, not to me. Like she haven't talked about it.
Have you ever had a close friend or family member go to prison?
Everybody went. I went to prison.
You went to prison?
Yeah, I went to jail. I did 7 months. That was it. 7 months. Yeah. Kendra was in jail, in and out of jail. So.
Yeah. What is mass incarceration?
That's slavery. That's slaves. So you saying they just going around like you everybody getting a paddy wagon?
Not that, but it's like basically like you said, the system. Why is Hartford impoverished? Why is Hartford poor? Why are black and brown people in jail?
See, like now I don't hear. I used to hear when I was younger, how all the jails was overpopulated. People was just going to jail for stupid stuff, and they was getting 7, 8 months for something petty. But I understood as I got older, it's money. That's an investment. They getting paid for you to be in jail. And I never knew that until I got older.
Yeah.
Yeah, they getting paid. That's why you're going to jail.
That's mass incarceration.
Huh?
I say, yeah, that's mass incarceration.
Yeah, you're getting paid. Yeah. And I learned when they say, don't get a lawyer, never get a public defender, because the public defender and the judge and the whatever, they're eating lunch together. So they already plotting. Yeah, just tell them 7 months or whatever. You can like, yeah, that's a good deal. You're going to jail.
How is prison different for women than it is for men?
I ain't never been in no men's prison. I don't know. You hear stories. Women prison, I guess, is Niantic. It's I did 7 months. I cried every day out. Yes, I did. I was a crybaby. The first month, I want to go home. Once they already started saying, I'm just gonna wait. I just got a calendar and just mark. It just completely. You got people tell you when to shower, when you can move, when you can eat, when you can talk. You gotta sit down for count time. All that. I was like, oh, I can't do this. I gotta go home. You get 2 outfits. If you don't order this off conversation, I can't do this. Then it's just.
How did the experience in Niantic change you as a woman?
Oh, I don't talk. I don't even do nothing. My kids, when I came home, my kids said, "Mom, you're a completely different person." I said, "Listen, I don't hear nothing about nobody starting no trouble. I don't got time for that because I'm not going back to job. I'm not doing.
What'd you get locked up for?
Now you being nosy, you gonna look it up?
I mean, we can.
Just flashing across the screen.
This gonna be on here too.
We won't put that on.
Okay, no, that's okay. No, I got locked up for forgery.
does anybody really understand what women go through when being arrested and incarcerated?
No. No, because basically, especially for women with kids, is if you gotta find someone to keep your kids. Make sure if you have your own place, make sure that's there when you get out. Make sure your bills is taken care of so you can have somewhere to come home to.
How many of the girls you grew up with got locked up and put in prison?
About like a handful.
Like if you had to put a percentage on it.
About like 15%.
Yeah.
Because once they seen you got locked up, I ain't doing that. So the other, yeah, we good.
How does the Hartford police treat the community?
Like a cuss.
Yes.
Like shit. They only come when it's violence, when somebody got shot. I have never seen Channel 3, Channel 61, Channel 8, whatever other channel, at any event that we give every year. We've been doing this for 20 years, the Stowe Village Community Day. We do it every year, and not one TV station has came there to see the positive move that's been making in the community. If nobody ain't got shot, nobody ain't get killed, nobody ain't got robbed, they ain't coming.
I mean, you just answered the question, but the next question is, do the Hartford police give a fuck about us and our community?
The Hartford Police Department, Hartford PD, Hartford whatever, don't give a fuck about our community, because I can remember, was it a year ago or 2 years ago when that cop made the bet? We ain't hear about shit else about that. When it was a pool bet. I believe the whole downtown, everybody in these political office has something to do with that. I believe all of them did. One just probably somebody knew, they added into the group chat, didn't know if that person was gonna tell, or they couldn't trust them, so somebody had to come out and tell. All y'all, they probably been doing this for years, and we just didn't know.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think, was it any black cops involved in this pool?
No, that's a good question.
Like, we never heard nothing about it, nothing at all. It just vanished off the face of the earth. Nobody's talking about it no more.
Right. I think those cops are
And
probably still
on top of
working.
that, the vet was, what, the first person to get killed that year? And my son was the first homicide of 2022.
If the crack era defined the 80s and 90s, what is the drug that defines today?
Fentanyl. I don't even see needles on the ground no more. You just see bags of dope. That's it. that's it. Fentanyl.
Do you have any, not that you tried or did it fentanyl, but like experiences with like Narcan, like people overdosing around you?
No, I just hear, oh, what, the fentanyl and the Percocets. I don't hear. I just hear like older people. You know how when you think somebody's clean, I guess they get that sensation to relapse, and that be the one that overdose. That be the one that OD. Like that dope you had back in the 80s ain't the same dope. They got something else in there. Some kind of chemicals they didn't want in somebody's lab in Farmington and put in, and you can't do that. Like,
how has fentanyl changed the streets?
Change the streets. It's completely different. Fentanyl, especially in Hartford, it's starting like Baltimore. It's starting like Baltimore. If your face could hit the ground and you still standing up, you're done.
That's real.
You're done. When I first went to Baltimore and I said, what is he doing? They was, I mean, leaning. Their whole head was on the ground, but they still was standing up.
Crazy. Like if I didn't see it, I wouldn't know what you're talking about. But I seen it, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, like they still in place, like
crazy.
And we just be sitting there amazed, like, you gonna fall, you gonna fall,
nope,
you gonna fall, you gonna, and they get back up like that.
They just
that
wake up, not the fall. It's crazy. How has COVID-19 changed the streets?
Oh, COVID-19 was a what you call it, a stunt just to kill off the black community in a completely different way, so people won't get charged for murder. Because if you mainly look at it, I'll say they put it up. First it was hitting Hispanic people, then it started hitting black people, then all the people that actually died from COVID-19 were the people that had heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, and you already had a disease within. So the COVID-19, which took over your whole system. If you ask me, they was going in there putting people in them, stuffing them people IVs and killing them. That was just the way to kill off the population.
Did you get vaccinated?
Yeah.
Did you have to get vaccinated for work, or was that a personal choice?
For work.
If your work didn't wasn't obligated for you to get vaccinated, would you have taken the vaccine?
I wouldn't. But at that time, I didn't leave my house. I wouldn't even allow nobody. We were so shook. Like, it was just. But it was all a stunt because y'all did that to us, and y'all was feeding us with these checks. Then y'all was feeding us with the food stamps. People that ain't get food, y'all was feeding us with all this stuff. And I'm thinking, why are they giving out all this stuff when you go to the stores and ain't shit in them stores to buy? Everything was a drought. Everything.
What have been your experiences with the Hartford public school system today as a parent?
You said what?
What have been your experiences with the Hartford public school systems as a parent?
Your kids go?
They close for anything. One child sneezes and the whole class, that would shut it down. There's no school tomorrow. Everybody got the email. No school. I remember when we went to school. We slid on ice. We still had school.
What kind of stress does that put on a parent? Like, every time Hartford closes school, like, what kind of stress does that put on you as a parent?
Sometimes when you're in the house by yourself, it really doesn't. It actually takes away learning from the kids, and half of these kids are failing behind because of that. And then you're getting all these multiple phone calls from different teachers saying, "Oh, your child fell behind in this. Oh, their reading level is this. Oh, XYZ, this and that," because y'all got them accustomed to laying home in the bed or sitting up in the laptop having class online. We ain't never had that. The stuff they got now, oh, if your child feels sick, keep them home. These kids get up every day, I don't feel sick, I don't feel good. Okay, you gotta stay home.
What's the differences between old niggas and young niggas in Hartford today?
Old niggas want to be the young niggas. Young niggas will pop the old niggas fast just for trying to kick some knowledge to the younger niggas. Like, oh hell, we don't want to hear that shit. What y'all did is completely different. So it's like, you can't talk to them, or you can't whatever, but you got these older ones that are trying to fit in with these younger ones. It's not gonna happen. And it comes to level of respect too. They don't even respect y'all.
What's the odds that a young nigga has in making it in Hartford?
Out of what percent?
100.
I'm not even gonna lie, I would say about 20%, and it's sad. It's 20%. Don't matter how many times you say, as a mother, don't do this. If you gon', me personally, you can drill into your child, especially a man, your child, which is, he's a boy, transfer into a man. They don't want to hear what you gotta say, because guess what? You're their mom. Sometimes if their dad is not even in the picture, or their dad is in the picture, they don't want to hear what he gotta say anyway, because they got their mind made up. So it's like, don't matter how much you drill into them, this is right, this is wrong, don't do this, don't do that, they're gonna do what they want to do. So it's best for a parent, I hate to say it, but if you're gonna do what you do, be the best at what you're gonna do. You get what I'm saying? Don't, if you wanna, you know how they, I'm gonna make this quick, if you're gonna do that, find something else that's gonna replace that. You get what I'm saying? Instead of you, sometimes you have, what I can say, kid, like when Kendall first got out, and he got his first paycheck, he called me screaming excited. I was like, how much was your check? I ain't telling you, his check was like $2,500. He was like, well, I'm going to work, I'm going, like, but I don't know what made him go, like, because he was still working too. Yeah. He was still working.
Yeah. What do you think that, kept him outside? What was it? Was it like, you think it was like, you wanted to fit in or be outside? Like, because, a check for $2,500, like you said, like, he was still working. He was like, it sounds like he was living a double life almost. He was at the age where, me and Kanar, we talk about it, like, at that age, like 17 to like 24, you kind of at a cross paths in your life, like, whether, your friends are in the streets and you trying to make the decision not to be in the streets, or you going deeper into the streets.
When you in jail, oh, I ain't doing it. It ain't in my system. As soon as you get a smell and a taste of the streets, you still got to do what you got to do. Why? Because you got parole on your back. Because they're going to come to your job and check. They're going to call and make sure you're doing this. They're going to come to your house to check. They're going to check in your and they're going to make sure all this. So to keep them off your back, you got to keep this job. But you also want to still, you didn't get this out your system completely yet. So like you said, it's a double life, double standard.
Mm-hmm.
Still, you living a double life.
Did you saw that? Did you warn him about it, or what did you have to say about that when you saw it? When you saw him kind of leading two lives?
When I send 5 paragraphs, and at the end of the paragraph, Mom, shut up. So it's like, whatever. Oh God, I know what I'm doing. What do you mean? That I'm grown. I'm this. So it's but so much that I can say. So it would have been to come to a point. What you want me to do? Come over there on my street, post it up with all your brothers and sisters, siblings in the car? I wasn't doing that because we ain't getting caught no crossfire. I'm not doing that. You get what I'm saying? It's only but so much as a mom that I can do.
What has changed about the streets?
What changed?
What has changed about the streets? Yeah, since you were a teenager.
You can't trust nobody. You can't even trust the person you grew up out the mud with. Nobody's to be trusted because it comes in a time and point if y'all both on the same level and you just went 10 inches high and they still down, instead of saying how you got whatever is, man, he ain't got shit. It's just, you know what I'm saying? So you can't trust that, and that's not how it's supposed to be.
Was that his first time being involved in gun violence?
Huh?
I said, was that his first time being involved in gun violence?
What, getting shot?
Yeah.
No, actually, that was his. Hold on. It was fourth.
Fourth time.
Time getting shot, yeah. First time he got shot 6 times. Second time he got shot twice. Third time he got shot once. And this time he got shot, they didn't say how many times he got shot, but I just have the, let me see, the death certificate. It just says, it don't say, like, particularly it just say gunshot wounds of the head and torso. So I know once I read it, I can say, I know for a fact that the head gunshot is what really did it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what really did it. The head, because he'd been shot in the torso before.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I just said that's what really I think once I said the head, I was like, oh.
Yeah. Who was with him when he got shot?
I don't know. Nobody's really saying. They have in the video, the corner store video. I seen the video, but you can't really see anything because it's a van blocking.
Mm.
But it was one other individual that got shot too. I think 2. I'm not sure exactly. You know.
What influence does social media have on the streets?
Social media is the reason why everything is happening on the street. You can sell social media, you can sell anything on social media. Social media, that's where a lot of this killing takes place. A lot of people, a lot of young boys and girls getting killed because of social media. It's not only that, it's what you post. You go on social media, you just bought a diamond ring, you just bought a diamond chain, you just bought these new sneakers, you posted, you got this outfit, whatever, what's the name brand, all this other stuff. You posting that, you're in a group picture, you're a target. You're a target. Every other picture you got, you're a target.
That's what it seems like. It seems like like you're 21, 22, you get your first pair of Cardis, get your first designer this, designer that.
First of all, y'all shouldn't be buying Cardi nothing. If you ain't got a pot to piss in or window to throw it out of, you shouldn't be putting $3,000 to $2,000 on your face, period. That money can be used towards something else. Half of y'all, you don't even need them to see. You don't even wear glasses. Half of y'all getting killed over Cardis. Somebody robbed somebody for this. You bought them not knowing they robbed somebody. You just bought them off the street for a quick $500. You just, okay, I'm gonna just, I'm gonna buy these because, these the same kind I want. 3 weeks later, you on Facebook posted up with these Cardis and you like, somebody looking like, yo, those my car. not knowing you the one that purchased them or bought them hot off somebody, you end up getting killed for something you're in the middle. You don't know why.
What's your biggest hope for your family and our city?
Biggest hope?
Yeah.
Oh, my biggest hope. I'm Connecticut. I can't been real, but I have to come to realize that since this happened to my son, there's nothing here but it's a gravesite. Nothing here. There's nothing here at all. And it's sad to say, everybody like, oh, everybody running from city to city, they doing this. Sometimes you have to do a new start and a fresh start off somewhere. And it took me a year to realize that, because it was thrown in my face that when it first happened, that you sure you don't want to move to a different state? My offered me to move with her to Arizona. I said no, I'm not running from anything. So I didn't, because I don't know if you know, an incident happened at my house. They came to my house on Kendall's birthday and tried to shot my house. Yeah.
After he passed?
Yeah. His birthday was May 30th. They came in, yeah.
And shot up your house?
Yeah.
Were you there?
No.
Was any of your...
There was people in the backyard.
Why?
Huh?
I said why? I mean...
There's a rap song out. It was a rap song group made. We slide. What they said, fuck swerve. First of all, you like 13, 14. You is not the same age back as my son. You don't even know my son, first of all.
This kid's younger?
You don't even know my son. You don't even know nothing about him. So why would you take it upon yourself and put that in your little rap song, and then we slide through, what they said, we slide through on birthdays? So are you saying, you know what I'm saying, like, you slide through on birthdays, right?
Okay. Yeah. I've heard, I'm a DJ out here, so I've heard like, it's crazy.
Like the first sign.
I heard your son's name being mentioned in songs. I heard.
For what? Like y'all like yeah, like why? Y'all don't even know him. He's way older than y'all. Y'all don't know him. What y'all mentioning him for? Like for what? Grow up. Half of y'all they should be getting diplomas. He got his high school diploma. How about that?
It's sad, man, because it seems like the violence is continuing in like the victims' names, like your son's name.
They're using this side and that side and rap songs. Y'all need to, like, some of these parents, get y'all kids. Get y'all kids.
Is that a possibility?
Even if you're not the one that did the shooting or whatever, guess what? You're making yourself vulnerable to get questioned.
Yeah. Is that a possibility at this point for parents to get a hold of their kids?
Nah, they at this time and point, there's no getting a hold, especially your son. There's no hold of getting to them, because they already think I'm beefing with this person. I'm doing this. I can't go over here. I gotta be on my P's and Q's and all. It's all whack. You could be a top soldier in your house. Your mother could be the one that pull a belt out, ready to slap you down. And then once you hit that doorknob and you're on her door, you're a completely different person. Probably a person that she don't even know what you're out here doing. Unless she hears it.
Now it's like the disrespect is nonstop. Yeah. How will your influence on the city and this period in your life be remembered 100 years from now?
My influence? I don't have no idea. I'm not really, this is the first time I actually really even spoke about it. I haven't gone on the news. I haven't did anything like actually to even be, to speak about this issue. But I think that's something I really want to do in the future. I'm dead serious. It's something, because out of all these parents and all these mothers, it's like all we do is go on Facebook and post pictures of our son. You got all these people leaving comments. I pray for you. I pray for you. I pray for you every day. But it's like now it's time for a few voices to be heard.
It's like
shit need to be shooken up. It needs to be shooken up.
I feel like those the Facebook prayers, they're cool, but it's not gonna stop another Kindle.
All it is going to me. All it is you got a lot of people requesting. Are you requesting to see what I'm saying, or are you requesting to see if they got anything anywhere closer to who did it. You get what I'm saying? That's mindset. That's what I think about. I look at pictures. I look at, if I even think, delete, you out of here. Like, I don't know if you're trying to screenshot pictures, because people have a tendency to do that. Go on your Facebook page. Oh, I know this is mother, so I'm gonna get a picture of him and then I'm gonna post it on you. Like, what you gonna? Nah, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's a thought. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
Crazy. Just a couple more questions. So, pick one time in the past 3 years, if you could go back and make a different decision, what would it be?
You said in the past 3 years?
The past 3 years, if you could pick one time and make a different decision, what would it be?
Oh, I really can't. What, you have to be more like a this decision, what, on my household, on life period?
It could be any, life period. It could be anywhere.
I would have left Connecticut. Yeah, I would have left Connecticut. But they say everything happens everywhere, but I'd rather for it to be a different outcome than to be in your own hometown, your own city, you know what I'm saying, your own, where you grew up at. I would have got up out of here.
What's your message to the young girls and young niggas of Hartford?
My message? Especially me now. I'm 44. So, and I have 4 daughters. One, the oldest, is 21. So my message would be to the young females, being 2023. Like, education is very important. Some college is not for everybody. College is for some of those. I'm not saying don't go to college, but I'm not saying some people, go to further on in the education to what they want to do and what they want to become. So my thing is to them, keep striving for the best. Don't let no one tell you can't do it, because you can. As much as we out here screaming, we need to change, but you got to remember, I was once that 16-year-old. I was once that 17-year-old, like, fuck out of here, I ain't saying all that, nobody gonna hear all that, I know what I'm doing. But it's like now, I see it, we're repeating, the cycle is being repeated, and somewhere along the chain has to be broken. Especially with these young guys too. When does the violence stop? When does it end? When does it stop? What is it gonna take for all y'all to be in jail? For all y'all, 9 times out of 10, the person you beefing with from over here, you think they don't know that y'all beefing? They gonna put y'all in the same cell. That's what y'all gonna be the best friends for life, because that's what y'all both. That's what y'all gonna end up getting. You gonna get a 5x7, 40 to 60 years. And your baby mother gonna be with the next person, the next one, the one you probably was beefing with, you know what I'm saying? So they needed to get it together fast.
What's your message to fathers and men your age? What's your message to fathers and the men that are your age?
My message to the fathers are, once your child hits a certain age, there's no talking to, there's no, you need to do this, you need to do that. Because once you reach, I'm going to say, by the age 16, your mind is already set, programmed, and trained. So, as a father, if y'all not in the same household, you have to be around more often. You have to sometimes drop and stop what you're doing. Give your child a call, or I'm about to come pick you up. We need to have, do family time. A lot of that counts, because the time that you spending with your child, they could have been doing some bullshit. It could have been in the middle of something that had, you know what I'm saying? That was no good.
Yeah, negative consequences.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. What's your message to the mothers of our city?
My message to the moms is, the single moms especially, never, ever, ever blame yourself for something that happened to your child and you had no control of. Because day in and day out, all we can do is say, please don't do this, please do that. I'm asking you, don't go over here. I'm asking you to, it's not safe, not this. And for a very long time, I'm not even gonna lie, I first couple months, I blamed myself. But I had to come to terms and realize I couldn't blame myself, because I would tell him, don't go over there. What are you over there for? There's nothing over there. Like, go home. Like, you're home. You went to work and you getting up. What you going over there for? You get what I'm saying? So, don't blame yourself. You can't blame yourself at all. And it's sad. It's a sad situation. And it's the truth. Once the crying, everything stopped. Everybody vanished.
It's like life goes on. Yeah.